All right, in this explainer, we're going to break down a social experiment where every single minute forces a life-changing choice. It's a game of strategy, alliances, and just raw human nature, all with a crazy amount of money on the line.
And it all starts right here, $500,000. That's not just a number, you know? It's this immense pressure that's hanging over every single decision from the very first second of the game. And here are our players. 20 contestants. Now, these people have all competed before in the Beast games, so they get what it's like to be under pressure, but they have never ever faced anything quite like this.
This is the core rule, and it is absolutely brutal. A 60-second timer starts, and when that thing hits 0, someone is gone. That constant countdown is literally the engine driving this entire game.
So at first, there's just total confusion. The contestants are all just standing there in silence, and you can see they don't get the rules. They pretty quickly realize they're not just waiting around to be eliminated, they have to be the ones doing the eliminating.
And here's the big twist. If the group can't agree on who to vote out by a majority, the elimination is totally random. And this is kind of brilliant, because it forces them to work together, even if it's ruthlessly, just to have some sliver of control over who goes home.
So you might be wondering, how does a group of strangers decide who goes first? Well, they find a really simple, logical reason. Let's target the people who already won money in the last competition. It's a clean way to rationalize the vote, create an us versus them thing, and just get the ball rolling.
Okay, so the game is about to shift, big time. Public chats are out, private plotting is in, and this is where the real strategies start to take shape.
So each player gets a phone to call other people and make secret alliances. And this immediately shows us a key rule of these social games. Doing nothing is still doing something. Player 10, she decides she's not going to play the political game. And because of that, she becomes the easiest target for everyone who is.
And out of all this chaos, 2 leaders with completely opposite play styles emerge. You've got player 14, who's all about creating order by uniting everyone against one person. Then you've got player 19, who just thrives on chaos, building this whole web of fake alliances to keep everyone guessing. And then a massive twist gets dropped. Once you're voted out, you get to pick one person to take down with you. This introduces revenge. So I gotta ask you, if you were just eliminated, would you go out gracefully, or would you take down the person who made it happen?
At first, the threat seems kinda empty. The first 2 players to go, 10 and 8, they don't take anyone with them. But then player 9 gets voted out, and she immediately uses her power to eliminate player 3. And just like that, the threat of revenge isn't just a possibility anymore, it's a very, very real weapon.
The game evolves again. We're moving away from pure social dynamics to a test of physical skill, and the winner gets an incredible amount of power.
The rules here are super simple. You've got 1 minute to build the tallest block tower you can. If your tower falls, you're out. If multiple towers are still standing at the end, the person with the tallest one gets to single-handedly eliminate anyone they want. All the power shifts to one person.
And in a pretty wild turn of events, who ties for the tallest tower? The 2 master strategists, player 14 and player 19. And they don't just tie once, they tie twice. So these leaders of opposing factions, they're forced into this uneasy truce, which disproves how much control they really have over the whole game.
All right, next up, we've got a classic test of game theory. It's a choice that pits guaranteed personal gain against the chance for a much bigger prize for the group.
So here's the setup. There's a money counter, and it's just going up and up. The first person to hit their button wins that amount, but they're eliminated. Now, here's the real twist. That money you take, it comes straight out of the $500,000 grand prize. So your personal win literally comes at everyone else's expense.
And yes, someone presses it, player 13 decides that a guaranteed $69,000 is better than a chance at the bigger prize, so just like that, the final pot for everyone else drops down to $431,000.
In a later challenge, players are given a chance to actually sacrifice themselves to send an ally straight to the finals. One player makes this desperate plea, promising to share the prize money. But at this point, trust is at an all-time low. Nobody takes the offer, and 2 players end up getting eliminated randomly because of it. And now, we've reached the final showdown. This isn't about skill or being cunning anymore. This is a straight-up test of trust, of character, and what it really means to win. So here are our 2 finalists. We've got player 19, a cancer survivor who wants to start a mobile salon to help other cancer patients. And we have player 11, who wants to start his own winery. You can just feel the emotional stakes for their final decision.
The final challenge is a button standoff. Both players hold down a button. The first one to lift their hand loses. But if neither of them lift their hand after 60 seconds, the money is literally destroyed and they both go home with nothing. It's the ultimate dilemma. You have to trust your opponent or you both lose everything.
With that clock ticking down, player 11 makes one last offer. He tells player 19 to let him win, and he swears he'll invest in her mobile salon. It's a huge thing to ask, built entirely on a promise made under unbelievable pressure. But then, in one of the most incredible, selfless acts I've ever seen in a competition like this, player 11 lifts his hand. He gives up his shot at all that money. He decided that helping her achieve her goal, well, that was its own kind of victory. He chose to let her win.
This whole competition, right? It was designed from the ground up to reward selfish, cutthroat behavior. And yet, in the end, it was won through an act of complete and total selflessness. And that leaves us with one last big question. In a game that's built for selfishness, what does it really mean to win?